Hey, I want to talk to you today about big trees. I know it sounds like a crazy topic, but what I'm getting ready to tell you really affected the way I evaluate property, and especially the yards and what's around the property. But big trees. We had a property a few years ago that we had rehabbed and had ready to close. We had a buyer lined up, we had a closing scheduled. But 3 or 4 days before we were scheduled to close, the closing got pushed back because there was some paperwork that had to get corrected. And at that point, I was really, really disappointed because I wanted to close. And the day before the original closing was supposed to take place, we had a huge storm come through. And it took this big tree in the front yard and put it right through the middle of this house. And I really believe that it was a God thing that we didn't close, because I believe the lady and her family would have been either moved in the property or in the process of moving in, and it could have very well been at the property or inside when the tree hit. So I really believe God was looking after her, especially in her family in that situation. But it was a huge mess. I mean, it was something that I'd never experienced. So we were able to bring in a crane and get the tree off the house. We brought a structural engineer in and they examined the house, and we ended up rebuilding that property. Thank goodness we had really good insurance. That's another thing that you need to be cognizant of, is great insurance. We had very good insurance that covered everything. But we rebuilt that house and we sold it a few months later. But it really affected the way now that I evaluate property. I always look around the yard and look for big trees. Big trees have big limbs, and a lot of times big trees produce a lot of leaves that fall under a lot of maintenance also. So when I look at property, especially for fix and flip property or buy and hold property, I really evaluate the yard and look for the potential of big trees. And I factor in the expense of either taking them down or limbing them up. So make sure when you're looking out there, you're aware of what's in the yard as well as at the property, especially for buy and hold or fix and flip properties. Be aware of big trees that could come in with a big expense. Have a great day.